Today I'm going to be making another bickern for this anvil. A bickern is really just a miniature anvil that fits into the hardie hole of an existing anvil. And they're used mainly to shape smaller pieces that just won't fit around your main anvil. This is probably the most common profile for a bickern. It has a square face and a rounded horn just like a regular anvil. And it's probably the one you'll see most often in the videos. Most people are surprised to find out that the main body of this bickern is actually made out of a square pipe. But bickerns aren't really designed to take a lot of heavy blows, so a square pipe is just fine for this type of tool. The tapered section is just made by cutting a V-notch into the pipe and then hammering the pipe closed. And then the actual anvil portion of the tool is just welded to the top of this pipe. I just made the shoulder of this tool by welding 4 round bars to the outside edge, and you can see I never even really finished the welds and cleaned them up at all. They're just stuck on there and they've been holding up just fine. This is another tool that I made long before I started doing videos, so I never really thought anybody was going to see this thing. This is another form of bickern. Sometimes they're called stake anvils, and you've seen this in a few videos as well. This one does get a fair amount of hammering, so I've made the body out of 4 square bars welded together. My hardie hole is just a shade over 1.25 inches, so if I weld 4 5/8 square bars together, that fits in there perfectly. Here again you can see how I just welded the 4 bars around to create the shoulder of the tool. This is another one of my bickerns, and it was used in the nail making videos. It's designed to be clamped in a vise, so instead of having a square shank on it to fit into the hardie hole, it just has a flat plate that can fit into the vise. I have a vise that's mounted very low into one of my workstations, and when this is clamped into that vise, it gives me the exact working height that I need. The jaws are just about in line with the anvil face. So that gives me a working height that's just about 10 inches higher than the anvil face, which is perfect for a light duty hammering like making nails. The outside faces of this anvil were made using 1/2 x 2 flat bar. To create the square hardie hole, I just welded in a 3/4 inch square bar as a spacer in between the 2 outside faces. And the horn was just welded to the surface after everything was done. Here's another stake anvil I'm working on for a different anvil. The hardie hole for that anvil is about 1 3/8 inches. So what I've done here is I've taken 4 1/2 inch square bars and I've welded a 5/16 round bar in between each face, and that gives me the perfect spacing for that particular anvil. So you can see you can build up any kind of configuration you want. Once it's all welded together, it acts as one piece, and it's just the same as using a solid bar. The bickern I'm making today is sometimes called a candlestick because it has a very long, thin, tapering horn, and it was used mainly by tinsmiths to shape the long, thin tubes that were used in candle molds. I'm going to be straightening out this bent rod to form the main part of the anvil. I'm not sure what this thing was, but it has a really nice, long, graceful taper to it, so it should work great. And I'll be attaching that to a square pipe the same way I did for the first bickern that I showed you. When I straightened out this crank handle, I realized that the taper stopped at that corner, so here I'm just forging out the tip to continue that taper right to the end. So here I have the pipe heated up, and I've cooled down the very top of the pipe so I can hammer the sides down without distorting them. When you're done, the seam should line up perfectly with the center line of the pipe. And I'll be welding this seam up when I weld everything else together. So here's the bickern about 3/4 of the way done. I'm using this clamp to figure out where I need to put the collar, and after that I just need to finish welding it and grind everything smooth. The crank handle that I used for the horn was made out of a spring steel, and I'm not going to bother heat treating this. This is going to get very light hammer blows and mainly from a wooden mallet, so it should hold up just fine. Hi, I'm Dennis and thanks for watching. If you like this video, by all means give it a thumbs up. If you want to support this channel, you have a couple of options to do that. The first thing, of course, is to just subscribe. Second, if you have ideas or photographs of things you'd like to see on this channel, send them along. I'll turn them into a video. If you want to lend your financial support to this channel, you have a couple of options there. You can go to my channel homepage and click on the options that you see in the banner. So thank you for your support, and with your help I'll be doing this for some time to come. We'll see you next time.